Howdy, Simmers. I don't build a lot of non-residential lots. By that I mean libraries, lounges, basically any kind of public space. I just don't typically build. But I didn't really know what to build today, so I spun a wheel to decide where I was even going to build in the first place, and it landed on Ciudad Enamorada. I hope I'm saying that right. But it landed on this world, and this is the world that came with the Lovestruck expansion pack, which is not one of my favorite expansions, if I'm being honest, and I really just can't build in this style. But anyway, I was looking around in this map trying to decide where I even wanted to build, and I noticed this neighborhood, Nuevo Corazon. There is a little 30 by 20 nightclub lot, which 30 by 20 is one of my quote unquote ideal lot sizes to build on. And this is the nightclub that's usually on this lot. It's really cute. I really liked the vibe that they had going on the inside, and I did try to replicate it, I feel, in mine, but I definitely did not do as good. Like, I'm just so not used to these kind of builds, so I have done my best, but it's definitely not as good as this one. This one is great, and I definitely took a lot of inspiration in mine from the original build that is here. Speaking of my build, let's get into this. So, on the exterior, the vibes of my nightclub are so drastically different from the build that was originally here, but shape-wise, I did kind of take some inspiration by using, like, a rounded wall, which, you know, round rooms in this game are not super great, but I think it's fine. The problem is I always use them wrong. So this was my opportunity to use them right, I guess. If there is a right way to use them, I really don't know. But the problem that I always have with building in this world is that there's a particular wallpaper that I try to use whenever I build in here because a lot of the builds around here are very vibrant and like really colorful. And there's this wallpaper from this pack that I like to use to try to mimic that because I see it being used one way to make things look really good. And then I try to use it, and it just ends up being too much. And I think part of that is, for some reason, I don't know what colors look good together when when it comes to this world. So I really struggle. But the color scheme that I ended up going with for here was pink and black, which is very, very different vibes from the lot that was here before. So I also think this is probably more of like a modern vibe, I guess, for a nightclub. So I probably shouldn't have built it here at all, but it's fine. The wheel told me to build here, so I'm building here. But we have a rounded room to kind of go back and as I guess as a nod to the original build that was here because they also used a rounded room. And with the new glass walls that we have from the recent update that we got with Enchanted by Nature, I thought it would just be really nice to put that on there. So we have a whole round glass room, which, for better or worse, it is in here. I actually didn't really run into too many issues this time with round walls or even the glass walls. Like, there was a weird glitch that I experienced when I was messing with some walls where the wallpaper kind of copied over to the wall, and it was really weird. But it wasn't that big of a deal, so I guess that's a yay for me. Round rooms actually worked in this build. Who would have thunk? But up here we have two decks, and one of them in my head is like they're both dining ish spaces, I guess. I don't know. There's not really like a dining thing at all, but anyway, the nightclub said dining tables, so I added dining tables. But I'm being super aggressive today. I'm sorry. One of the decks is more of like a friend hangout type of deck, and then the one on top of the rounded room is more for like couples. It's only two-seater tables on that side. And yeah, I don't really know what was going through my head while I was building this. I think what was going through my head actually was I really hope that this build turns out good because I am scared for multiple reasons. The first one being I'm building in a world that does not match my style at all. And the second one being I don't build things like this. I build houses most of the time, family homes. This is so far from what I typically build, so I am out of my element, I am out of my comfort zone. And I hope that you guys like it because I always feel self-conscious whenever I build something that's not in my normal area of building. So yeah. I try to use as much Love Struck as I can because I am building this world, so it's like might as well, but I don't know. I love using this star detail that I just added outside of the bathrooms, and I use it on a couple more walls down here. I didn't really use it upstairs, but I probably should have for continuity purposes. And yeah. So, how's everyone doing? Are we getting through this together, having a good week? Oh my gosh. But yeah, I use as much left stroke as I can. I used all sorts of features in this. I am realizing I used the rounded rooms, the glass walls, and I also have some platforms going on down here, so really experimenting with my builds here. But for the nightclub, I really didn't know like what to do other than just a bunch of seating spaces, which is that all a nightclub is? I don't go to clubs like at all. So I don't know. And it's always confused me the difference between a nightclub and a lounge. Like someone tell me what the difference is. Are lounges just more like I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for? Sultry, intimate? I don't know. Um Lounges, I guess, give me like jazz club vibes. Like you come in there, you get smooth jazz, that kind of stuff. And nightclubs, I feel, are more like modern music, so much alcohol. But it's not like a dance club kind of thing, right? Which I did mean to add a dance floor into this, and it did not happen. Just saying. But oh, look, you get to see me actually messing with the lights. I always forget to change lighting stuff in my builds. So the fact that I even remember to do it this time is great. But yes, this nightclub does have a hot tub, and that was like the first idea I had when I was thinking about what to do for this was I want to build a deck. There's going to be a hot tub under it, and it's going to be great. So, yeah. I do feel like I should have used this pink tile a little bit more in the build. I only used it behind kind of the bar section, and we get a bar back later on because I finally found one. I was looking for them earlier and couldn't find them. And so eventually I just end up scrolling through the entire catalog of stuff that came with this pack, trying to find something. And I don't know if it's just not tagged properly because we know they've been having tagging issues lately, or if I'm just blind, which is also a fact. But yeah, I just really struggled, and I really should have put the tile a little more around because it feels so random in here. But we're working on the decks right now, and all I really do out here is get some tables and like some lights. So, but based on, you know, which section you're in, you have different centerpieces. The couples deck has a little candle in the middle. The more like friendship hangout ones or something, the ones meant for four people, have little flowers on them. So, I don't know. But I wanted to put a little more greenery around than I did, but I just didn't know really what to do. If anyone has any pointers or like tips on how to do nightclubs or any kind of public lot, really, let me know because I need to practice with building more of these public lots because I'm just so not good with them. So my element is family homes, but I want to branch out. I want to do better at building these other things. And I just don't know how. So if there are any people out there who regularly do these kind of builds and you have some advice for me, please let me know. But I get a lot of these like palm trees around in this build, and I never get to use this plant because I so often build with small wall height or short wall height, I guess. And these plants are just too tall for that wall height, so this is like the first time I've gotten to properly use them. And so they're everywhere. They really are. But we are finishing up on the outside, and I once again took some inspiration from the original by making these little, like, garden platform spaces, I guess. Trying to make, like, a little faux greenery space using some platforms and just some flowers. And yeah, I don't think it looks bad. It definitely is a little random, but yeah. So all I have left to do, I think, are the lights. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop into the game and show you this build. So here is the finished lot, and unfortunately it's in a bit of a weird kind of space, so getting a picture was not easy. But I went ahead and filled these little faux garden spaces with some actual palm trees. And then we just have, you know, all the extra ones around on the inside. But yeah, I definitely think this came out really cute. We're gonna very slowly head inside. So coming in through the front door, we have our first seating area. And there's not too much going on around here, but we've got some more of those starlights on this wall over here. And some windows. If you look carefully, you can see the hot tub through them. But starting over here, we have one kind of giant seating space. We've got palm trees everywhere. I thought this was really cozy, and I really just like having the space open because of the glass wall. So the glass walls are so nice for when you don't want to put like a million windows. So there are stairs up here, but we'll come back to that. So we've got 2 bathrooms in here, and they're nothing really fancy. One is bigger than the other though because my spacing somehow got messed up. There's one, and then here is the second one. It's a lot smaller, but yeah, it's a bathroom. I'm sure no one will really mind. Then over here we have our bar area, and then out here we have the hot tub and another palm tree. So there's not a lot going on out here. It's just supposed to be kind of a cozy hot tub place, I guess. I don't really know. So then coming up the stairs, I really wish we could like actually put stuff on stairs. I know there is a way to kind of hack that, but I wish there were like actual slots on the stairs. Sadly, there are not, but we come up here and this is the access to both of these decks. So there's not too much going on in here. It's another little seating area. I got the costume trunk in here because it was in the original as well, and I was like, okay, well, we'll keep that. Not that they're really going to use that for anything. But here is deck number 1 for the couples. So like I said, they have little candles in the center there. They also have a really nice view from over here. So I haven't seen what the view on the other side is, but we have our friend hangout, or I guess multi-relationship, poly-relationship hangout. Depends on what you want to use this for. This is just a vibe. But yeah, so we got this over here, and they don't have too bad of a view either, I guess. Just a lot of trees in the neighborhood, and yeah. So that's the build. There is not too much else to it, really. But I do think it came out kind of nice. I just wish that I had, I guess, done it more justice to the original. I wasn't trying to do like a renovation or a thing or like a new version of it, but I just kind of wanted to recreate, I guess, the romantic-ish vibes that the original had, and I don't feel like I did it justice, so yeah, but that is the build. I'm calling this build the Palm Paradise Nightclub on the gallery because of all the palm trees that I have around. I really didn't know what else to call it. Surprisingly, it only uses these packs, so I'm honestly really surprised. I would have thought that I had used a lot more, but I guess not. But yeah, so that is available on the gallery for you guys. If you want to download it, you can find it under TheSimmingKoalaa with 2 A's at the end. That is my gallery ID, and it's always in the description if you guys ever want to download anything from me. Looking at the build now, I honestly don't think it came out that bad. I actually think it's kind of cute. Does it fit the vibes of the world at all? No, not really. Did it recreate the romantic vibes from the original lot like I wanted? Definitely not. But it's not ugly, and that's what counts, right? So I'm always, like, just super terrified that my builds are gonna look so bad, because I am definitely more inclined on, like, the furnishing side of things, not necessarily the building. So the exterior looking good is always, like, my biggest fear, is that it's just not gonna, you know, turn out the way I want it to, and it's not gonna look as good as it does in my head, and I don't know. But I don't think the build came out bad, and I hope that you guys like it. And if you do like it, you should let me know in the comments so I feel a little less self-conscious about it. But I think that is all that I have for you guys today, so with that, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you have notifications on so you don't miss anything. Be sure to follow my socials, links are below. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.